It's early 2009, and the dust is still settling after the groundbreaking release of GTA 4. Rockstar Games are now openly working on Red Dead Redemption 1, set to release just 1 year away in 2010. But while the world was still roaming the gritty streets of Liberty City in anticipation for Rockstar's new Western title, something quieter was happening behind closed doors. The foundations of a new Grand Theft Auto game were being planned, and just a few short months later, in April of 2009, the very first documented build of GTA 5 was created inside the walls of Rockstar's studio. How do I know this? Well, it turns out that Rockstar Games left in the build.xml in the game files, and tucked away within this text is the earliest reference we have of the game's existence. It can be said that at this point in development, the game was likely extremely empty. At this stage, the game would have likely just been a sandbox testbed built on GTA 4's Rage engine. There would have been no map, no missions, possibly just physics, a camera, or test characters. Despite GTA 5's first build now being created, nobody in the outside world truly knew when the next GTA game would be announced officially. But Rockstar were busy dedicating a small team to GTA 5's pre-production. This could very well be the earliest screenshot we have of how the game may have looked sometime in 2009. And yes, this is a real development screenshot taken from a Rockstar employee's portfolio. And so they gave the project a code name, Project Rush. Nobody in the gaming community had any idea what Rockstar was planning next, but there was a whisper. On November 13th, 2009, the first official trace of a new Grand Theft Auto surfaced, and it was featured in an interview with the Sunday Times, a respected British newspaper. Easy to miss, but it was there. Dan Houser himself, Rockstar's co-founder and architect of the series, made a rare public comment about the next entry in the franchise. He didn't really say much, but he said that it was in the works and that the script in the next GTA entry would be about 1,000 pages long. But things were all about to change. On May 18th, 2010, Rockstar finally released Red Dead Redemption, and now that this was out of the way, it was time to get to work on GTA 5. On July 26th, 2010, the first whispers broke the internet. Gaming site VG247 reported that Rockstar was actively working on the next Grand Theft Auto. The rumour was that GTA 5 would be set in Hollywood, Los Angeles. According to Eurogamer, Rockstar developers had been spotted in Southern California scouting locations for GTA 5. Reportedly, part of the team spent over 100 days embedded in Los Angeles, scouring everything from neighborhoods to prisons. According to the report, they'd even been talking to gang members and FBI agents. Across the build log, we see internal references that show us the game was now in full production, but at this point in time, the game is far from a smooth experience. Parts of the map are now in place, simple mechanics are working, but one key comment reads, "Game's running in low FPS. Shadows flicker, vehicle reflections are broken." This tells us that by late 2010, GTA was running in some form, but the engine was likely just rendering test environments or prototype assets. But key visual elements like shadows and reflections were malfunctioning. This is one of the first signs that the game could boot and render something playable, though still clearly unoptimized. Imagine what it would have been like to play a version of GTA 5 this infant in its development cycle. But the biggest thing was yet to come. But from November 22nd, 2010, following the finalization of the general script, a casting call quietly goes live online under the codename Rush. On the surface, it looked like any other Hollywood audition sheet, a list of quirky, chaotic characters for a project supposedly about the lives of criminals and corrupt law enforcement. But this wasn't just some indie flick. Rush, as you know, was Rockstar's internal cover name for GTA 5. Except nobody knew this at the time. In fact, even the actors who were auditioning for the parts didn't know that they were auditioning for the game. For a short time, this Rush casting call would remain secretive and fly under the radar, but not for long. It was only a matter of time before gamers and fans of the series would uncover the truth. But for now, let's return back to the build log to get an idea of where the game currently is in its development. It's now December the 9th, 2010, and it seems development was still having a rough time, as expected. It suggests that the lighting system was actively being implemented or tweaked at this current time, but obviously there were some pretty big issues. In early 2011, Rockstar were getting to a stage where the game is almost in shape to reveal, and started to work on a trailer. This then would mean that by early 2011, a lot of the map was mostly in place. We can see comments such as first version of police AI added, and chase system breaks when near the water. Rockstar was now working on core gameplay systems. The addition of police AI is huge here because it's a big milestone, and it also shows that a lot of the map and roads were probably ready. It means pedestrians, vehicles, and law enforcement logic were being integrated. But something big also happened this month, something that would send the community into speculation overdrive. In March 2011, Rockstar quietly registered a handful of strange website domains, names like lifeinvader.com and sixfiguretemps.com, hinting at satirical in-game websites and fake businesses. While they didn't mention GTA outright, their tone was definitely unmissable and unmistakable as a Rockstar GTA product. We believe we actually have some development photos of the game in its current state around this time. Take a look here. If you didn't know, GTA 5 was built on GTA 4's Rage engine. Think of the engine like the foundations of a house, and the game is then built from that upwards. As you can see from these screenshots posted on an official Rockstar developer's portfolio, we can see that the GTA 4 minimap is currently present here. So it seems around this time they really were making some progress, but some of the UI elements were still outdated. But then suddenly, in March of 2011, something really big happened. Something that Rockstar were hoping would never happen. A fan was browsing the internet when they stumbled and dug up a strange casting call online for a project called Rush. There was no mention of Rockstar, but one name stood out: Telsey and Company, the same casting agency that had worked with Rockstar on Red Dead Redemption and LA Noire. The Rush casting call had been found. The casting call describes roles for characters with names like Kevin De Silva, a 20-year-old who smokes too much pot and played video games all day. Sound familiar? An Armenian car dealer with dodgy business ties. There was even a corrupt FBI agent who hates his life and lashes out on those around him. There was over a dozen other roles, each dripping with satire and screaming Grand Theft Auto. Fans weren't 100% sure yet, but they began piecing things together. This was Rockstar's worst nightmare. By summer of 2011, some huge advances in the game were evident in the build log. We see comments such as driving camera too stiff and quote crashes when entering helicopters. GTA 5 had obviously reached a critical turning point here. The game was obviously fully playable, running noticeably smoother, and Rockstar had begun focusing less on core engine stability and more on bringing the world and story to life, as well as some small UI changes, which is pretty significant. By now it's been 3 whole years since GTA 4 has released, and no new news on a new GTA game. Remember, this is from a time when Rockstar was releasing a new GTA title every few years or so. Obviously, due to this, the hype began to grow and rumours began to be posted online of a new GTA in the works. It's around this time where they were finalising the footage that they wanted to use for the trailer. They were nearly ready to reveal GTA 5 to the world, but the map wasn't quite 100% finished. We know this because we can still find screenshots from developer portfolios like this one, which clearly show the map in place, as explained earlier. The minimap seems to be working, but there's some giant parts of the map missing. The same goes for here in Sandy Shores. Well, that was missing an entire area as well. If you look really closely in the background here, you can see that parts of the map are missing. It's now October 2011, and while nobody knows it yet, we're just weeks away from finding out that GTA 5 actually exists in an official announcement from Rockstar. While this wouldn't be officially revealed until November the 5th, a few select members who work for official PlayStation magazine were allegedly invited to Rockstar North's offices on October the 18th to see a 30-minute gameplay footage of GTA 5. That was a whole week before the first trailer was revealed. They saw a ton of interiors, including a shopping mall, college campus, police station, and a huge hospital. Sadly, this is the reality of game development. As development continued and more assets were added to the map, performance began to dip, especially considering the consoles the game was designed for only had 256 megabytes of video RAM. Just 256 megabytes to render the game. This is why, sadly, as development continued, a lot of things had to be cut from the game, interiors being one, but also other things like vegetation and trees. Looking at some of these beta images, you can notice that the game had a ton of vegetation and hundreds of trees populated the streets. But they certainly knew that if they continued to add more vegetation and objects to the game, it just simply wouldn't work. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, Rockstar Games dropped an official statement on GTA 5. Along with this announcement came a link to the official website. When clicked, it led viewers to a page with a black screen, a large GTA 5 logo. The website had a countdown, and everybody went crazy. But despite the trailer then being released shortly afterwards, it's evident that looking at it, the map really was still under works. In this scene here, as this Obey flies past the camera, we can see that part of the map in the background isn't even rendered in at all. Or whether that part of the map genuinely wasn't done yet, well, I guess we don't know. As 2012 rolled in, the tone of the build logs changes dramatically, suggesting that the project was reaching a more stable phase. While the game was far from polished, it's now running smoothly enough that the flood of issues and reports seen in the earlier builds had pretty much disappeared. Rockstar Games shared the first official Grand Theft Auto 5 screenshots in July of 2012, following the development's success. This is where we get some early glimpses of the vegetation still present at this point in time in the game. It seems that at this point Rockstar still hadn't removed things that would later no longer be in the game, like these pink trees in Mirror Park. The storyline of the game is now most likely complete, and devs are hard at work getting the experience smoothed out. With a clearer view of that progress, Rockstar made it official, a spring 2013 release. Obviously at this point in time, Rockstar must have been relatively confident that they could hit that release window. As Rockstar began to polish the experience in late 2012, they decided to experiment with things, different additions to add to the game, different features, adding the final touches that may or may not make it to the final game. One of these was this pause menu concept, really interesting abstract images. Hidden in them, you can find the word pause on billboards, neon signs, or whatever. Obviously, these never made it to the final game, so at some point Rockstar decided that this just wasn't going to make it. On November 5th, 2012, they opened pre-orders and publicly committed to the launch window of spring. But just a few months later, there was a big issue. October 18th, 2012, quite late into development, there was a note saying quite a lot of crashes, mostly fixed now. The next day, memory issues persisted. Memory is low on console test runs. Loading asserts still happening. By December, Rockstar was assembling the first dedicated multiplayer builds, had to grab previous props to work around the phone being broken, disabled the entire radio system because it was causing crashes. Obviously, as late as December, these issues are pretty significant, especially if you're promising a spring release. It seems like the game had gone into bug overload because in December 2012, Rockstar's internal bug tracker surpassed 900,000 entries. Among them were things like missions failing to launch from trigger zones, players getting stuck in mission cutscene loops, and vehicle radio crashing the physics engine. All of these bugs thousands of entries apart from each other, showing that thousands of bugs were currently present. The game was often crashing and derailing progress. Rockstar's solution currently was to completely disable broken systems temporarily to keep it from crashing. The clock was obviously ticking. Would they really make a spring release date? 100 days until then? Obviously, as you know, sadly not. On January the 7th, 2013, build version 305 noted still some stability issues. While the game was pretty much complete in terms of story and map, there's absolutely no way Rockstar could commit to the spring release date. The delay was necessary. GTA 5 is a massive, ambitious and complex game. Trust us, it will be worth the extra time, they said. They actually genuinely seem to have some pretty big issues going behind the lines. For the rest of the development cycle, Rockstar Games hammered out many of the bugs we've just mentioned, and the development went rather well. The game had the perfect amount of time for polish, and Rockstar definitely felt confident that they could deliver the product by September. On March 31st, 2013, a large mural began taking shape on the side of a building in Manhattan. At first glance, it looked like another piece of stylized street art, but fans quickly noticed something very interesting. It looked like some artwork that they were familiar with from GTA 5, followed by the face of Trevor. It was the official box art being painted in real time. One GTA forums user managed to snap early photos of the work in progress, and as the image started to fill out, fans went crazy. The official GTA 5 box art was going to be revealed. It was an incredibly clever marketing campaign. It drove fans right into the moment And shortly thereafter, the official box art later that day was also revealed on Rockstar's official website. GTA 5's development cycle had finalized. Rockstar Games were finally confident that they could hit that release window. And obviously, on September 17th, 2013, the fastest selling entertainment product ever, GTA 5 was a Goliath, and a huge success for Rockstar. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video, and I hope I've broken down how the development cycle might have worked for GTA 5 and shown you some really fascinating imagery. If you enjoyed the video, it would really help me out if you click subscribe, or if you want to, go and check out One State using my link in the description. And I'll see you guys in another video. Adios.